and they've brought along with us their canine therapist. Cadbury is the chocolate Labrador in the middle, and Zoe, the beautiful corgi, on my far left. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and thank you so much for bringing these two special doggies along to speak to us. Now, Alona, let me start with you. Dr. Connor Hughes, let me start with you. Unfortunately, this year, we have had to cover some rather horrendous stories involving crimes against children. And we have been in contact with the Teddy Bear Clinic on numerous occasions to speak about the important work that it does when dealing with children who've been traumatized and have been victims of some of the worst crimes this country has ever seen. When did we get to this point where you realized that therapy dogs could be used to help prepare children to have to face court proceedings?
About 4 years ago. We'd been working in hospitals, in frail care units, in special needs schools, and we decided to approach the Teddy Bear Clinic and ask, was there anything that we could do? We felt instinctively that we could help the children, but we didn't know how. And the Teddy Bear Clinic and the director there, Dr. Shaida Omar, they sat down with us and we worked out that the right place for the dogs was in preparing those children, and they're between the ages of 3 and 18. Sorry, she steals the show.
She's gorgeous.
Those children, a lot of them need to prepare to testify against their adult abusers in open court. And that is incredibly stressful. It's stressful for adults.
Absolutely.
So we can only imagine how those children feel. They're already under stress from having experienced the abuse, and now they're being asked to go through that learning about what is a court. Who are these people wearing strange outfits in the court? So what we decided to do is we took it in 3 steps. First of all, we just did a kind of a de-stress moment after they'd finished the learning each month. And then we looked at taking the dogs into either a mock-up, a miniature court, which is on site in Johannesburg at the Teddy Bear Clinic offices, and we also now do that in the Krugersdorp Magistrates Court, in the real court.
Oh, wow.
On a different day in the month. So, and then we've now started using them in a third way, which is for small group teaching. So the children can come up close with a facilitator to 4 dogs, each of which are in a costume for the court. We've got a magistrate's outfit that
right. Cadbury is wearing.
Even complete with the little white bib.
Yes.
See, Zoe is wearing the, yes, my dear, she's wearing the court orderly outfit.
Okay.
A lot of the children are scared of the police. So one of the things that's happening here is they're learning you don't have to be scared of a police uniform. It's quite tricky to be scared of Zoe.
I can imagine. I can imagine. But let me bring Ilona in here. Now, Ilona, you are specifically with Top Dogs.
That's
correct, and you provide dogs for therapy in hospitals, in hospices, and for all kinds of other environments where people might need help. What is it about dogs that it makes it possible for them to help people deal with stress and trauma?
It's quite a difficult question.
It's a difficult question, but what in your experience have
in
you
my
found
experience,
helps?
the people tend to relax more. They tend to get over all their emotions and so on. And it's really a good thing for them as well. So what we do is the hormones that gets released, there's like 5 hormones, 2 relax and 3 is like happy hormones. And as soon as you touch a dog or you see a dog and so on, obviously those hormones are getting released.
And I suppose when you're dealing with children, it's a little bit more complex because it's often you're dealing with little humans who can't always voice what they're feeling and what they're going through.
That's correct, yes.
So how do you approach that then with a therapy dog and a child that perhaps is dealing with something that they cannot voice?
It's very difficult if you've got a child that cannot voice, but you need to leave it to silent process. Even though we don't know what they're talking to the dog about and the dog is answering them, it's like a silent process that goes on between the child and the dog, and we just let it continue. Yeah.
Now we live in a society where we're not all dog people. We haven't all grown up with dogs, and some people have had very traumatic experiences with dogs in our country's history. Have you found it difficult then when you are wanting to help people who perhaps aren't used to dogs, or children who are scared of dogs, to get them to a point where they realize that these doggies are here to help them?
Yes, definitely. Quite a few of our dogs can do tricks.
Okay.
And to win them over,
Yes.
we use the tricks. And then say, look, Cadbury can pray, Cadbury can do this. And then we've got other dogs that can also do quite a few tricks. And then we use the dogs to get closer to the children. And by the end of that visit, that child is hugging and kissing their dog.
Now, Connor, we're talking mainly about the help that they're giving children. But often those children have parents with them that, because their child has gone through a criminal trauma of some kind, that they're dealing with issues of anxiety, guilt and grief as well. Have these therapy dogs been able to help whole families as well through these processes?
Absolutely. The parents actually, they tend to be often a little more resistant than the children to working with the dogs. But I think when they see how much relaxation and how much courage the children get from the dogs. If you see the children in the courtroom, you'll see they've got their arms around the dogs while they're rehearsing. And those dogs keep them upright. And I think when the parents see that, they then start to move into the dog's space. And when they start to touch the dog and with their child interact with the dog, because they come to the teddy bear clinic as well, then they start to understand the kind of the magic that happens when you've got these really gentle, well-behaved dogs. Not every dog is a therapy dog, and what we do teach the children is, like you need to do with the human, treat every dog as an individual. There are dogs who are not friendly.
Yes.
But these dogs are specially assessed and specially trained so that they are really wonderful with the children.
Just in closing, Ilona, do you find that there's more of an understanding now of the power and the great need that therapy dogs of this kind can fill?
Definitely, yes. Especially in old age homes. They have to give up their dogs and so on.
So the companionship is a therapy of itself, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And if people wanted to find out more about the work that they do, where can they go to find out?
They can go to our website. It's www.therapytopdogs.co.za.
Ladies, thank you so much. Dr. Connor Hughes from the Teddy Bear Clinic, as well as Ilona Kruger, both of them doing great work with Top Dogs Therapy. And we say thank you to Magistrate Cadbury and Court Orderly Zoe, a beautiful corgi that's come in and taught us about the wonderful work that they're doing. Thank you so much for your time, ladies, and thank you to these special canines as well. You can stay right there for us. I know that they are ready to go, and they're getting ready to get some wonderful treats. We thank them for their time this afternoon.